Inyeri Designs is really a shop of reflections. And what I mean by that is that I try to produce jewelry that's all across the aesthetic range. I try to produce pieces that have very individual characters. And my hope is that when a person finds something that they really like, that the kind of beauty that speaks to them, they're finding a reflection of themselves in me, because we both appreciate that kind of beauty. And it's jewelry is a beautiful thing, but it's a very beautiful thing to be known and to feel like someone out there understands you, if only in a small part. And so that's why the tagline for Inyeri Designs is "Find Your Reflection."
The obvious question, of course, is what does Inyeri mean?
When I was in college and I was trying to establish my identity and figure out who I was and what I was going to be, I took to naming the different facets of myself, and Inyeri was the artist side of me.
We're showing some of your pieces on the screen, and these are beautiful. How do you design them?
I couldn't really tell you that I look at certain things or that I listen to certain music and get inspiration. I just usually start sketching. I have something called a Buddha board that I like a lot because it's just water painting, and after a few minutes the picture goes away as the water evaporates, and I use that a lot to just start sketching. And when I see a shape appear that I like, I actually draw it on a piece of paper and keep it, and it usually turns into a piece of jewelry. I actually go kind of nuts when I go to Michael's or Joann's and I walk into the bead aisle. I get a little bit giddy. And every once in a while I'll buy a few more strands, and then what I do is I actually lay my beads out in front of me, and then I start putting them together and seeing what looks good together. And I combine those with the shapes that I've made on the Buddha board. It just sort of coalesces, I guess.
So I imagine something like this takes a lot of space to do. So how have you set up your home workspace?
It actually doesn't take as much space as you would think. I have a small table that's only about 2.5 feet deep, maybe twice that wide, and that's my main workspace. I also have a pair of shelves that I bought from Goodwill and installed above my table. And then I have one shelf of a bookshelf where I just keep all my little storage boxes and bags and other things that I use to actually deliver the jewelry. It really doesn't take a lot of space as long as I keep it organized. If I allow things to just kind of explode everywhere, then yes, it would take a lot of space. So about once a week I go through and I put everything away and sort of reorganize myself.
A big aspect of this business, naturally, is photography. And I fear how big the answer to this question might become. How do you get the photography for some of these pieces?
It's not as long as you think. It's just blood, sweat, toil, and tears. I'm kidding. But the first time I actually went to photograph something, it did take me about 2.5 hours to get the photographs that I wanted. Mostly because I didn't really have an understanding of lighting or color cast or anything like that. And so I just couldn't understand why it wasn't showing up in the photos the way that I wanted it to. But eventually I did get better at it, and the major breakthrough was that I got a light box for Christmas, and that has really helped. You can see the difference in the photos between the time that I did not have the light box and the time that I got it. The colors are much more clear, the silver doesn't look orange anymore, things like that. Most of what I do is I actually take the jewelry and then I find a silk flower or something, another small item that will complement the color of the jewelry, and I put that all together in the light box. And then I spend a little bit of time messing with the lights outside, and then I just start snapping pictures. Sometimes I'll take several with different backdrops or accessories, and then I'll just pick the best ones.
It's really inspiring that you're able to take on a whole new field like photography. But Ali, thank you so much for giving us a window into your design space.
Thanks for visiting. This has actually been really fun.
You're very welcome. Where can I find your work online?
I have a shop on Etsy, and I also have a Facebook page. Both of them are just the URL of the main domain and then Inyeri Designs.